Hello, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at how we can generate random patches, complete patches within the Digitone II synth, FM synth, using Ableton Live 12, building an instrument rack and getting that to then generate entire FM patches for us. I know there is a randomized function within Digitone for the individual pages, but this one allows you to create complete patches. Let's have a quick look then how it works, and at the end I'll show you how you can put it together yourselves if you like. Okay, so we have Ableton and we have here Overbridge running as a VST within Ableton. If you have this installed, I'm sure you know how to use it. You'll just find it in one of your plugins here. There's a Digitone II VST which opens. This allows you then to manipulate Digitone from Ableton. What I've done is effectively mapped certain parameters here to an instrument rack at the bottom here, so that I have the ability to change the tone here in a very simple way. I've just used numbers just to keep it simple. You can always look at the bottom here to see what you're actually rotating. Here I'm controlling the algorithm. If we look down here, you'll see change the algorithm, and it works in a similar principle to the last video I made on operator in FM, where I just wanted to have a possibility of creating FM tones, but in a very simple experimental manner. So you can effectively start from the left here, number 1, and work your way through until you find a tone you like. But as I said in the intro, one of the strengths here is that we can randomize this, and I'm adjusting the ratio of B, and I've set the constraints up here. We'll look at this in a little bit, but I've effectively set the constraints here so that we kind of avoid, in the majority of cases, some of the nastier tones of FM, and it kind of keeps it a little bit sensible. And now see if we can do a random and see what we get out of it. Now I've set these to be included, but in this instance what I'll do is just set them to be excluded. We now look, they're excluded from, so the ADSR will remain the same. The filter and these 9 parameters will all move to a new position. So you can make a choice here. Do you want to randomize the envelope settings for the amplifier, or do you just want to have a particular tone you're searching for, a pad or a lead or whatever, plucky sound? Okay, well, let's have a go, see what happens. Fingers crossed. Of course we get the terrifying tone, but we can adjust this here. This is the ratio here at the front. And very quickly, just by playing around, you can find something new. Here we have control over the filter. Here we see the filter here moving between the different types of filter, multi-mode filter. And once you've created your tone, then you give it a new name and just save it. It'll save it onto the Digitone. Very simple stuff. So you can experiment if you're lacking ideas or you're not very good at FM tones. Let's say you can, let's try now, maybe play with the harmonics or the algorithm. It's a bit of a potluck thing, but sometimes something really nice comes out. There are a lot of things mapped to these 9 controls. Here we go. We'll get to those. Control of the filter. Okay, let's have a look then how you map Overbridge to an instrument rack. There's a couple of little things you might miss and assume that you can't do it, but you can actually map this quite nicely. Then you can save this here as an instrument rack into your user library here, and every time you open this up, or say this is a project, and then you can open it up and you'll have the same instrument rack connected to the Overbridge here, so ready to go again. As I say, you then save your presets here, give them a new name, and off you go. Okay, let's have a look then what's going on. Okay, it's a little bit tricky. I'll try and go through it as quickly as I can, explain what's going on. Basically trying to relay the principle to you. We have here our plugins. We click on that, we go and get our VST and just drop it in here. That opens up Overbridge. We can right click on this and group it, and here this little icon opens up the macros. We'll need all 16. Let me just very quickly rename these. Here now we need to clear our patch. We'll start with a brand new patch. Rename it FM Creator, something like, and then you would save that here. Save it. If I save that here, it'll allow me to save it into my preset slot. So this is what you will recall when you want to work with this instrument rack. You just load it in, FM Creator. Everything is set to blank. You could set this up. I've used no LFOs in the rack I created, but you could in theory set up LFOs, you could set up your effects, how you want. And then when you're ready, when you've got your default, your base, save it, and then you can start doing patch generation. So set this up as you want, name it as you want, save it, and off you go. Right, so let's have a look then. I'll have to make it a little bit smaller to begin with. We have here in a Digitone 2, we have this little down arrow. If we click that and then click configure, we've now effectively started the mapping for the VST. So we'll make this again a little bit bigger. Sorry to jump around a bit. We'll leave it there at 120. And I'll simply go through and select the parameters here in Digitone that I selected. I say make your own choice, but these are the ones I used. And the first trick you have to learn is if I click on this, nothing seems to appear down here. And that at first confused me. I thought, well, that's unfortunate, we can't map that. But the trick is to actually move them. So if we look at ratio C here, if I just click on it, hold the mouse key, move it up and down, there it appears. Great, now we can map it. And that was the thing that opened this all up for me here. So I'll go through it very quickly. I had this ratio C, I had the harmonics here, I mapped. The algorithm here, map that. As I say, just click and move it and you'll get it there. Ratio A, Syn A level, which I believe is this, there. I'll hop around a little bit because I just want to get them in the same order as I have on my list here. Then I had the mix here, XY mix. Ratio B here, down the bottom. B level here. The feedback. Filter attack time. This is this envelope here. I took the attack time here. I also have these envelopes here for operator A. I took the attack time here. The amp attack time, which is this amp here. The filter decay time here. Envelope B and A decay times. And the amp decay time. Then I have the filter release time here. The end parameter here for this one, the end parameter for this one, and the amp release time. Then the filter sustain level, which is this value here. Envelope B, this one operator B, attack time. The amp sustain level. the filter type here, move that, the filter frequency here, and finally the filter resonance. Okay, so those are the items I chose. Now all we have to do is go here and go into our mapping, click the mapping, and we can now transfer these to our macros. So let's start again. On 1 I had, this should be in the right order now, I had this, sync ratio C, then I had the harmonics on 2, the algorithm on 3, syn ratio A on 4, on 5 I had syn A level, 6 was the mix, here that almost rhymes, 7 was ratio B, 8 was syn level B, 9 was the feedback value here, down here at the bottom. Then we have the filter attack time goes on A, the amp attack time here goes on A, the syn A attack time, this one here, also goes on A. So this one here, the filter decay time goes on D, syn B and A decay times go on B as well, and the amp decay time. We'll skip here to the release now. That goes on here, that's the filter release time. The end goes on here as well. This end here on release. The amp release time also goes on the release, the R. Then we have the filter sustain level goes on S. This syn B attack goes on the S as well. The amp sustain goes on the S. And then we have the filter type goes here, and the frequency here, and finally the resonance here. Okay, so they're all mapped. Now we have to have some constraints here to try and contain the FM tones we're generating. So I'll punch those in now. If you don't want to watch me punch them in, just hop to the end of the video, you'll find them there. So the filter frequency we leave at 1, the filter type at 1, sustain level, the B envelope attack I changed to 0.5, filter sustain that remains, SB end, this one here, syn B envelope end, I changed to 0.75. And we have the resonance has hopped up, but that should actually be 0.8. Sorry, that hopped up there, 0.8. So the resonance is here. Let's go back down to here. So B end, then we have B decay. So I had slightly different shapes to these two envelopes here to give different FM tones. So the B decay I set to 0.75 as well. The amp attack time here, amp attack time, this I set to 0.8. The syn A attack time here, also 0.8. And the filter attack time here, also 0.8. Feedback I left at 1. B level I left at 1. The syn mix here I changed to 0.5. And the ratio A at the bottom I changed to 0.77. So those were the settings I made in my attempt here. Let's close that up now. That should all work. Let's try maybe a random tone and see what happens. So as I said in the intro, you can set these up as you want. You can exclude these from the randomization. I might do in this case, I'll exclude them, ADSR, or you can leave them to be randomized as well. You save this by clicking here onto the little disk icon that will appear in your user library under instrument racks. You'll find it in there, so you can just drag it in whenever you want to make patches for Digitone. So let's see what happens if we do a random. There we go. See if everything's working. Okay, that seems to be working. This we can now close up, we don't need this. Okay, I hope this has been, as always, useful to somebody. A little bit tricky, but interesting. I've not tried it yet, but I guess you can use this with the original Digitone, any of the Elektron Overbridge instruments. You can apply this approach. You're always limited by the number of macros. I did one rack myself where I put multiple parameters in and just saw what came out. A lot of it was just junk, so that's how I came down to refining it down to something that was a bit more sensible. Anyway, have a go, try it on whatever Elektron instruments you have, see if it works. Take care and enjoy the rest of your day.